All right, so here's the deal. I want to clear up some confusion when it's coming to the new 2023 and 2024 Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra HD trucks. I'm actually here at Pro Chevrolet today to talk to you about that. I want to clarify what's going on with them and talk about two new HD models that are on their way. With that, let's get going. All right, so first of all, I do want to apologize. I haven't been getting out news as much as possible lately, as much as I did in the past. I've had some busy stuff going on in my life. As I mentioned in one of my last videos, I have a new baby girl at home. Things are busy at work. I mean, a lot of good things happening, but of course that means I've been a little delayed on some of the news. But one of the things I want to talk to you about today, as you may have saw from the thumbnail of this video, is there's some good and bad news in regards to the HD trucks, the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra HD trucks, that is. And I want to recap. Now, I know some of you may have watched a video I did a while back where I said I made a mistake and talked about some certain things, but I have some more things I can confirm today. And unfortunately, there's some bad news and some good news in regards to the 2023 and 2024 HD trucks. So let's get going into what that is. I guess we'll get rolling with the bad news and save the good news for the end. First and foremost, unfortunately, the bad news, I think is something that we all are aware of, is the lead time in order to get these HD trucks right now. Unfortunately, even working at the dealership, on the dealership level myself, I don't unfortunately have the answers that many of you customers are asking in terms of, what's the availability, once it's ordered, what's happening, because I don't think, unfortunately, GM necessarily knows, because again, they're at the mercy, don't forget, of the suppliers that give them parts as well. So unfortunately, it's one of those issues where you're asking me, I'm asking the person ahead of me, the person ahead of me is asking the person ahead of them, or, in terms of the channel of these, components and parts and chips, of course, as we hear all too often. Although, recently we did see some HD trucks coming, so hopefully that's a good sign of things that are coming. But again, that has to be lent to the bad news side right now still, because of, unfortunately, we are nowhere near normal levels for these trucks right now. So all I can definitely recommend is get your order in for one now, especially if you're not necessarily in need for one. At least get your name in there, get your name in the list, in the bank, so that when it does start to come in, you have the opportunity at that time, at least to the dealership I work at, you have the opportunity to choose whether you're still going to keep it, or again, they will just end up selling it, right? So not really as much pressure. So that's the one little bit of bad news. Now, the other bad news is something I've been seeing in the comments, whether it be on my Instagram. By the way, if you haven't checked out my Instagram, it's GeneralMotorsJeff.com, and here on my YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, I suggest you do so you don't miss out on news information like this, as well as walkarounds, all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing. One of the confusion that I hear is I've actually had customers, people comment on my Instagram or here on YouTube saying that they've ordered a truck and their dealer that they've ordered it from is telling them that the 2023 HD truck is going to come with the all-new screens, the all-new interior that we're seeing currently, if you don't already know this, of course, on our half-ton GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverado 2022 refresh model trucks, where it has, the larger 13.4-inch color touchscreen, the digital screen in front of you, and on most trucks, or all trucks, pardon me, the bucket seats are getting this center console shift. Well, unfortunately, the people that have been being told this are being told incorrectly. Now, the original plan, I think the original plan, and what I at least originally thought, is we were going to see the refreshed HD trucks coming for the 2023 model year. However, that has been shifted, and I can confirm this now, not going to see the refreshed models of these HD trucks until the 2024 model year, of course, which is the year following. So what we're going to be seeing, if you were to order a 2023 HD Silverado or Sierra, what you're going to find is it's going to be the exact same truck, essentially, for all intents and purposes, as the 2020, 2021, and 2022 models, the models we currently have on the lot. So that's going to get you the 8-inch color touchscreen. For sure, you're going to have the column shift. Basically, again, it's just everything that we currently have. It will not be until the 2024 model year where some changes are coming, and this is going to lead us into some of the good news that I have for you in regards to these HD trucks, however. Okay, but on to the good news, and actually, if we want to backtrack just a second, some of the good news may actually be that some of you out there, you watching this, might have already ordered a 2022 or is going to consider ordering a 2023 and didn't want the new technology, didn't want the newer screen, the bigger screen, whatever it is, and you may be happier with the older technology and maybe save a few bucks that way. Well, you got one more year with which to do that. But the real big exciting news, of course, coming for the 2024 model year is a couple of things that I'm excited about. First and foremost, my understanding is there's going to be 2 to possibly 3 new models, which I'm going to talk about here in a second. That's one of the exciting things. The other thing is, horsepower and torque increase. We're going to talk about that here in a second as well. Not to mention, there is going to be a refresh look, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to talk about the refreshed looks of these HD trucks. So much like we've seen in the half-ton trucks, there's going to be a front-end change for the new 2024s. There's been some spy photos out there of them testing. We already know this is going to happen. Unfortunately, we just don't know exactly what they're going to look like. Now, for some of you Chevy diehard fans who maybe didn't like the looks of the HD front end since 2020, I know it's polarizing. I love it. There's some people, it's either a love or hate with that truck, whereas the GMC seems to fall in, well, I'll take it either way, right? So I think you're going to find a more maybe potentially subdued front end of the Chevy Silverado, but both the Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra HD trucks are going to have a front end change. Now, how dramatic they're going to be is remains to be seen. Now, as far as the side of the truck, the back of the truck, I think again it's going to be much like we're seeing with the current half-ton trucks, which is just going to be a refresh. This is not an overall model year change, generational change. This is just a refresh. So again, I think we're just going to see the cosmetic changes in the front end. They're going to leave the side and the back, pretty much the same. But the bigger changes, of course, are going to come in the inside, and we have seen some spy photos of them testing, which are confirming they are going to get the larger screen that we're currently seeing within the half-ton trucks. It's going to give you the Google integration, the big 13.4 inch color touchscreen, as well as the fully programmable digital screen in front of the driver as well. Big things, I think, for a lot of us who want those things. One of the things that's up in the air, however, is are they going to go to the console shift like we're seeing in the bucket seat models of the half tons now, or are they going to stick with the column shifter that we're always used to? Now, there's been some arguments for both, and my buddy over at Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, Tim, he made a great point saying, hey, the guys that plow and stuff, they want that shifter up there. It's a lot easier to put it back in and out of gear, all that kind of stuff. Maybe we're going to see on the higher end trucks that they're still going to go with the console shift. That I don't know yet. I have not seen any pictures of an HD testing truck with the console shifter yet. At least I haven't personally. Maybe there's some out there that I don't know about, but I don't think so. I haven't heard that yet. So, and I think that's something they're going to maybe be keeping under wraps for a bit, anyways. So. Now, the other couple exciting things I talked about, of course, are a horsepower and torque increase. We're going to get some new models that are coming as well. Horsepower and torque increase, my understanding, and again, thanks to TFL Trucks, who I got to meet Andre from TFL Trucks when I was down in California. Great guy. I love that channel. Love what they do. If you don't already follow them, of course, do that as well. Of course, my buddy Tim at Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, who's been a great help to me on my YouTube. But listen, the understanding that TFL Trucks had mentioned, this is going a while back, so if you've already heard this, again, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go over everything I know so far. But they're talking about a horsepower and torque increase. They're talking about a horsepower increase going up to 505 horsepower and a torque increase of 1,100 pounds, but 1,085 pound-foot of torque. So we're going to see finally with the Duramax some more power coming out of that motor, which I know some of you were obviously going to love, especially if you're going to wait that long for the 2024. Let's get some more motor power too, right? All right, but new models. So of course we're going to see a refresh, but again, much like we're seeing with the half-ton trucks right now, we see the refresh, we see the different interior, we see the different exterior, but we also got a couple new models, actually the tune of 3 new models in the half-ton, and I truly think that we're going to see a good chance of 3 of these models going over to the HD trucks. First and foremost, they have been testing on the wild an AT4X and a ZR2 off-road variant HD truck for both the Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra trucks. Both of these trucks have blown me away in terms of what they've been offering. I got a chance again to drive that AT4 for an extended period of time, both on the highway and off-road. And I can say I love the interior, I love the comfort of it, and I love the off-road performance. And if it's going to have any of that, of course, lend itself over to the HD trucks, it's something I'm super excited for. By the way, to clarify, if you didn't already know this, of course, when it comes to the ZR2 and the AT4X half-ton trucks, they do come, of course, with a 2-inch factory lift. However, the AT4, which we've always had in the HD trucks, and of course the AT4X and the ZR2 coming out, but at least for now, the AT4 does not have that 2-inch lift because the truck is already so high to begin with. So that's something I'm very curious to see. If they do go through the off-road trucks, is there going to be a little bit more of a lift, or are they just going to concentrate maybe on more bumper stuff to give you some more clearance that way? Again, remains to be seen, but there is concrete evidence that we're going to see an AT4X and a ZR2 off-road variants of these HD trucks. And the third truck that I'm super excited about, and I think it only makes sense to lend itself to this, and it's going to have a feature that I think we're going to see in these trucks as well, is the Denali Ultimate. I know you've seen this truck. Again, I did an extensive video on this. Again, when I was down in California, the truck is amazing. I love the Super Cruise on. Oh, by by the way, that's what I'm getting into. Super Cruise, I totally think is going to be available on the High Country, an option in the Denali, and maybe, a standard feature in the Denali Ultimate. If they do go that way with the HD truck, I just don't see how they don't do that. It makes complete sense to have Sierra, Denali, Ultimate when it comes to the HD trucks if they're already going to do those off-road variants. I mean, again, it's really, a lot of it's a cosmetic stuff, right? So cosmetic outside, just more fit and finish on the inside of the interior, and then adding that Super Cruise, which I think is inevitable. I mean, there's a reason why they're allowing the towing on the half-ton trucks, because they're going to test it out for the 3/4 ton trucks, right? Anyways, that is what I know today. Stay tuned for the next video. As always, take care, everybody.